following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Hello, Wolfpack! We're back, and right now I'm taking a short visit to the happiest place on Earth, Gotham City. You see, after my near-death experience from Sting Borden's Scorpion Wrath, I ran over here to Gotham in order to seek out some comfortable safety, because as we all know, nothing bad ever happens to anyone in Gotham. If you're a cat. Yeah, if you were a human civilian, then you'd be totally screwed. But cats are always safe in Gotham because we have the great Catwoman watching over us. She'll protect me from that scary champion wrestler. Oh, Selena, she's so complex and loving. But while I'm here, I might as well get a review accomplished. Yet what can I possibly review that fits this bizarre setting and is something that everyone knows and loves? Oh, okay then. Thanks, Batman! Well, folks, all my Are You Afraid of the Dark fans asked for it, so now they'll finally get it. A review on the fan-favorite tale of suspense, The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner. Rumor has it that this story gained such high praise due to the fact that it paid homage to one of the greatest scary clown villains ever made. But does that make it a grand story worthy of such love? Well, that's what we plan to find out. In this opening, the Midnight Society are talking about how underrated comic books and graphic novels are, but also discuss how creepy it would be if the psychotic supervillains of hand-drawn nightmares became real and caused real problems. An interesting concept for sure, but one that many other horror shows have tried their own hands at too. What makes Are You Afraid of the Dark's attempt so good and applauded then? Well, let's stop wasting time and find out. Was this tale of suspense truly a story that puts a smile on your face? Or is it a terrible mess dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight? Let's find out. This is my review on the classic Are You Afraid of the Dark horror story,
Of the Ghastly Grinner.
So, our episode opens up during a dark and stormy night at a young comic book artist's bedroom, where we soon meet our main character, Ethan Wood, a shy, rejected artist with no friends, and is constantly ignored or dismissed by the comic industry, as we see him rage-quitting from gaining even more rejection letters in his mail, making him question if he's even good as an artist. Aw, that's sad. This episode does a decent job at setting up a classic underdog hero, who we do feel sorry for. Decent start so far. In fact, it almost reminds me of a certain person I know with very similar issues. But that can't be since he's in space. I mean, it's just another shy, artistic kid with self-worth issues, questions his own work, has emotional dilemmas, wears dark clothes, and rocks long hair. I can't think of anyone who'd ever fit that description. Also, why is this kid so surprised that the bigwig corporate executives are rejecting him? He's a kid. Of course they're not going to take him seriously. Even if his art was great, there are still laws in place that prevent people from hiring middle schoolers. I know that this setup is meant to provide our main character with some sympathy points, but by today it feels a bit much. Though, to be fair, I do really believe that the entertainment business does need some fresh, younger creators in their ranks, since audiences do demand better and newer things to watch. You can't rely on Frank Miller forever, guys.
How about this one? I call it Bold and Brand. More like belongs in the trash. Ah!
In short, this is a good character and a well-done story arc beginning. Anyways, as Ethan rages, he finds a special mystery letter asking him to attend the grand opening of a new comic store. He visits this mysterious new comic shop as we get some cameos from Are You Afraid of the Dark monsters? Look, there's the Crimson Clown, the Watcher from Watcher's Woods, a Dark Knight from the Dark Dragon, and the Vampire from the Night Shift. Very cute, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Very cute.
Wait, where's the Galloping Gazelle? You don't include a cameo from the greatest superhero ever? 0 out of 10, nothing special.
Wrong comic book episode, House. As Ethan looks around, he soon encounters Jack from Mass Effect 3. This is the mysterious comic shop owner, Frankie Uncas, who reveals that she reached out to Ethan because word on the street is that he's a brilliant artist who knows how to draw superb comic concepts, and she needs his help with something secret. Oh, and for some reason, she calls Ethan Cakes as a nickname or something. I have no clue why, since it makes no sense. Is that something we used to call people back in the 90s? Cakes? Was cakes ever a slang term? Must be a Canadian thing.
Canadians are weird.
Jack tells Ethan that she needs his help completing a rare one-of-a-kind graphic novel that was never finished by the book's original writer, Sylvester Uncas. This rare novel is dubbed The Ghastly Grinner, a supervillain tale about an evil mutant clown who kills people by infecting them with a virus that turns the victims into laughing, giggling, brain-dead lunatics who die with a smile carved on their face. And let's get the giant elephant in the room out of the way before we go on. The Ghastly Grinner is the Joker. No, he's not a parody of the Joker. He's not a blatant ripoff of the Joker. He is an obvious stand-in for the Clown Prince of Crime, but slightly altered so the DC Comics company couldn't sue for copyright. Our main villain is a creepy evil clown who kills people by infecting them with a laughing virus, makes dumb jokes, loves causing anarchy, and kills people for fun. It's the Joker. Apparently, Are You Afraid of the Dark wanted to do their own spin on the Joker, but sadly failed to get the rights to the real comic book characters due to their low budget. So instead, they just created their own version with vague similarities to the clown, but it wasn't him 100% of the time. But I'm going to save time and just call him Joker because it is so obviously him. I know a ton of people love this villain, but there's just no denying that Are You Afraid of the Dark wanted to make their own version of him without violating any copyright problems of their own. That's not hypocritical of you at all, children's horror show. However, I'm very sure that the show is not ripping off the Clown Prince of Crime, but rather paying an homage to him. This whole character is simply a love letter to the iconic DC Comics villain. Are You Afraid of the Dark just wanted to make up their own version of the Joker so they could have a ton of fun with the character. You see, this series was on at the same exact time when Batman the Animated Series was a massive hit, and Mark Hamill recreated the Joker into the beloved psychopath we know and love today. So, Are You Afraid of the Dark wanted to do this episode as a show of thanks. And the attempt at offering up their own Joker is fairly decent and amusing overall, so it works. This is the Joker, but the show wants to have him for a fun horror story without causing any ill will or mean-spirited jabs at the character. It works because they just want to pay tribute to the character, while the main focus is still on our kid heroes. So I can grant it praise for admiring the Joker rather than outright stealing him. After all, there are multiple incarnations of the Joker, and this is just one of many. Though, since the Midnight Society joke about the idea of comic books possibly being real, it makes me wonder how the real Joker would react to his own image being ripped off here. I wonder. So Jack informs Ethan on the bootleg Joker's backstory of how he's a murderous clown, and hands over the rare one-of-a-kind unfinished novel to Ethan for free, because she needs him to finish the book for her since the original artist never did, as he mysteriously vanished a long time ago. Ooh. So naturally Ethan takes it. We then cut to a school science class, where some doggy-doo is getting blown up by a jerk science teacher, while Ethan reads about the Joker killing people. And wow, is that comic artwork pretty gruesome and nightmarish. Props to the art department. But of course, the jerk science teacher catches him, takes the comic from the boy, then destroys it like a prick.
You can't, it's one of a kind.
Correction, it's none of a kind.
Aw, that's sad. But we see a female character, who I'm sure won't be important later, taking pity on our kid hero. We then cut to Ethan's house, where his parents, Owen Wilson and Rhoda, tell our protagonist that they got a call from school about him reading a comic book in class, and he's in big trouble. Oh yeah, remember back in the old days when reading a comic book in class was a serious problem that earned a call from the school office? Usually kids these days would get an office call thanks to fighting others, doing drugs, destroying property, or other dangerous activities. But screw that, reading a comic book in class! That's where the education system seriously needs to put their foot down. So Owen Wilson and Rhoda tell their son that if he gets in trouble one more time, then they'll have to stop buying him comic books, upsetting Ethan. By the way, the parents are your typical lazy idiot adults. They're here for some comic relief and to make Ethan look better in comparison. Granted, they aren't the worst idiot parent cliches I've seen, but they're ultimately pointless to this story overall. Meanwhile, Ethan wants to save his rare comic book, so he naturally fixes the wet paper by shoving it into the microwave to dry it off.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Ethan then gets a phone call from that female nerd who checked him out in class. This is our second main character, Hooper Piccolaro. Yes, that is her actual name. Hooper? Somebody was actually cruel enough to name their daughter Hooper? Some of these children's names are so weird and out there. I honestly can't believe half the names in the show would ever go to real people. Must be a Canadian thing.
Canadians are weird.
Hooper was calling Ethan to cheer him up, and tries to befriend him, pointing out how she thinks he's a great artist and pities him. Aw, that's so sweet. But then we see Ethan's comedic idiot parents plugging in 1,000 electric appliances at once, which leads to you-know-what. Okay, nobody dies, miraculously, but Ethan is alive and checks out how the kitchen blew up. And you all know what happens when you put a comic book into the microwave. It makes the comic book character come to life. Wait, what? Yep, the Joker has escaped from his comic book and turned into a Looney Tune.
Oh, come on, Cat. Breaking through the walls in a cartoonish cutout is not the craziest thing the Joker has ever done.
Thanks to you, Joker, the Misfit now controls Tiger City. And with it, the Omega Warhead.
Ooh, what does this one do?
No!
But uh-oh, Ethan sees that the Joker has infected his parents and turned them into laughing nutbags who joke about killing people in a disturbing fashion.
Dad, something's happened to Mom! Any good jokes lately, Ethan?
Now, this is the one thing different from the Joker Venom in the DC universe. On Are You Afraid of the Dark, only some of the victims die from the laugh infection, but many of them do stay alive long enough for our kid heroes to find a way to cure them of their insanity. In most DC stories, Joker does kill people with this method, but here, the Joker toxin is more like the Joy from Gumball. It doesn't kill instantly, but the horrific implications that your friends and family are slowly getting turned insane by the Joker is still just as horrifying, because Ethan has no clue what to do to help anyone, while the victims slowly descend into crazy maniacs just as violent as the clown himself. The Joker in this show uses his evil stare to transform his victims into brain-dead laughing dolts like himself. And much like on Batman, it's terrifying. Great execution on the nightmare fuel, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It really works in these scenes. So, as you'd expect, Ethan runs away, where he conveniently bumps into Hooper, who was coming over to see if he was still alive from the explosion. Ethan soon tells her that the Joker has become real, and now he's escaped into our world to kill thousands of innocent people.
I don't know how, but I think I just brought this guy to life. That's the Grinner. He feeds off people's emotions, drains them till they're nothing but laughing idiots.
Sounds like Adam Sandler movies. But oh no, Hooper's parents come over to visit Ethan's infected kinfolk, and the kids actually let them go inside and die. What? What? You kids seriously let those people go over to the Joker poison death zone and let them get infected? What is wrong with you kids?
They say I'm crazy.
Hey, here's a stupid question. Why don't these kids just use another microwave and put in a Batman or Avengers comic book inside of it to bring out some superheroes to beat up the Joker? I mean, seriously, this could lead to so many radical ideas, like bringing in a superhero into our world where they have a real death battle with the Joker. I mean, how awesome would it be if the kids dragged in an epic hero to save the day and stop this guy? You stupid kids, bring in Batman or somebody badass enough to face down the Joker. This show sends the message that putting your comics into the microwave can bring the characters to life, yet they never do anything like this ever again. Instead of resurrecting Batman or somebody just as awesome, they take a bus to go back to the comic shop for some answers, where the kids see that the comic book is applying to the real world before seeing themselves in it. And since the comic is about the Joker's POV, this means that he's on the bus too, where he sacrifices a minion in a suicide mission to kill the kids. Holy cow, did that guy just snap his own neck? Jeez, and I thought I was kidding about them being influenced by Frank Miller. So this then leads to a cool Mario Kart-style car chase scene. Yeah, that guy's totally dead. Choke on that, kids. An innocent bus driver is officially dead and was killed off completely on screen.
Extremely big shit.
The kids arrive at the comic shop, where Jack comes back to warn Ethan that the comic book he had with him was a magic comic, and reminds Ethan that the reason she wanted him to have it was so he could complete the unfinished artwork in it, because she knew that the Joker was alive and totally dangerous. Somehow, Ethan completely forgot that he was told all of this earlier and never even did the artwork Jack asked him to do.
Great continuity.
Jack reveals that the real reason the comic was never finished was because the Grinner abducted his creator, Sylvester Uncas, before he could kill the villain off. And now, thanks to Ethan's stupidity, the Joker is free in our world and will never stop killing people. Yes, truly Jack made a smart decision, hiring this kid off the street to save the world. And wait, so the Joker somehow abducted his real human creator Sylvester Uncas in the real world? Yet the show is acting like Ethan's mistake is what really released the villain from his comic world and into our own. So can the Joker escape on his own, or was it all the microwave?
Don't know, I've gone cross-eyed.
And how does Jack know all this? Well, she reveals that the Joker's creator, the missing graphic artist Sylvester Uncas, was actually her father. No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings, you will know it to be true.
No. Actually, it's not that hard to believe. Jack sent out thousands of letters to comic artists everywhere under the hope that she would one day find a creator who could complete the Joker story arc, kill off the main villain, and somehow save her missing father's life. Ethan just happened to be the only one to show up. Jack warns Ethan that only he can save the world, as she sensed a greatness in him, because our kid hero has the touch.
That's why I sent you the invitation, Cakes. That's why I gave you the comic. You got the touch.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Ethan questions his artistry skills since he lacks confidence, though. In all fairness, we do get a good heartwarming scene where Jack encourages the kid to have faith in himself. It's rather nice. But Hooper suggests that they just kill the Joker by shoving him into a microwave.
They say I'm crazy.
Whoa, who knew that you could kill a person by shoving them into a microwave? Clearly, shooting him with a gun was Plan Z. In fact, why go through all the convoluted planning when you could just call the police? Where are the cops in this world anyway? The Joker goes on a murder spree and the police are nowhere in sight? What are they even doing right now?
Fire an APB
I know it seems nitpicky, but I feel it's a bit of a wasted opportunity to refuse to show this world's police force. Since how cool would it have been if we saw the police getting crushed by the Joker? I mean, the kids could call the police, but we'd get a scene of the Joker infecting them all easily, making him a truly epic villain and forcing our kid heroes to save the world by themselves. That would be so cool, but sadly, the show glosses over all that. But then, the Joker finally makes his first on-screen appearance in a truly scary fashion.
Stop.
And then, the Joker straight up murders Jack, while the kids abandon her to die. What? You ditched Jack to die? I don't know what's worse, the Joker murdering people in the real world, or these kids leaving so many people to die by his laugh. Also, I find it kind of funny how Jack doesn't even put up a struggle to get out of the Joker's one-handed chokehold. Seriously, not even an attempt to break free? She just screams there and cries.
You're totally right. She sucks!
Just saying, it would make the Joker even scarier if we see that he's so strong that not even a physical attack can affect him, but just running away from him delivers too, I suppose. Our kid heroes then break into the school science lab to alter the science class microwave into a special deadly weapon to kill the Joker. Wow, these kids sure broke into the school real easily. Did Big Yellow just let them in since he owed them a favor or something? Now, the kids do have a pretty nice friendship moment where they bond over being social outcasts, which is honestly adorable. But oh no, somebody who's clearly not the Joker is coming through the door. Seriously, was this supposed to be a clever fake-out or something? Since we do see it's obviously not the Joker. But I guess this was a clever misdirection or whatever. Instead, it's the jerk science teacher asking what's going on here, where he's instantly killed by the Joker. The kids try to use the microwave to seizure the clown to death, but it fails, and the audience gets scarred for life watching the Joker kill a man.
Now that's what I call a killing joke.
And yeah, that guy really is dead. No, for reals, we just watched him die. We never see him ever again, and he's never confirmed to be alive later. So we can add this scene to the show's growing body count. The Joker tries killing our heroes too, but the kids run away back to the comic store, where Ethan tries what he should have been trying all along, complete the comic book artwork to kill off the Joker. But Ethan admits that he never did the comic artwork this whole time because he has no faith in his artwork anymore and thinks that he sucks. But we do get a pretty nice motivational speech where Hooper tells Ethan that he can do it because she believes in him, and points out how the Joker will kill people if he doesn't at least try to save the world. So this, at long last, gives him the self-confidence to draw once more. Oh, but of course, we get a wacky montage of Ethan and Hooper being chased around the area by the Joker while he also attempts to draw the final pages. So this calls for a stupid musical number. Hey everybody, do you love hearing the Joker's beautiful singing voice featuring the great Mark Hamill? Well, too bad. Instead, you get Jeff Bennett.
You can be a goody two-shoes till the end of your days. You can listen to them say crime never pays. You can follow every law and be the big black bat. But why would you want to? Where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? So smile, darn you smile. Everybody loves to grin. Follow my lead, recite my creed, and smile, darn you smile. Don't listen to the dullard say that life is a bore. Those fuddy-duddies spoil all my fun. That's why I strive to eradicate gloom. It's from that itch I made the switch and chose my nom de plume. Joker, there's the fun in that.
Back in the plot, Ethan quickly draws the final pages, while Hooper stands guard, before somehow missing the Joker standing right in front of her pretending to be a statue. Ethan wraps up his drawings as the Joker grabs Hooper hostage, but somehow fails to kill her. Hey, it's what every kid said to Jared Leto. But the clown is too late, because Ethan reveals that he finished the book and transformed himself into a self-insertion fanfic superhero, where he and the Joker teleport back inside of the novel. We'll greenlight it! We soon get to our grand climax, where, I kid you not, the final battle is read to us by Hooper, as she reads the finished concept art. I understand that the show didn't have a big budget for an epic Batman-style fight scene, so I'll grant the cheesy climax some leeway, since I do kind of like it. We finally get to see Ethan's awesome comic book skills at play, and it allows this episode's comic book gimmick to be of use for a good conclusion. My only real problem is that there aren't a whole lot of epic battle poses, since you'd think a comic book would show off more wicked artwork with the characters in badass poses. But within the story's context, it can be argued that Ethan was pressed for time. It's an okay scene, but a bit of a cop-out since this is the last we ever see of the Joker. So Hooper reads the climax for us, where we see that Super Ethan saves Jack and some old man from the Joker as he vanquishes the clown prince of crime in a comic book world microwave, which kills him. Wait, that's it? The Joker gets blown up in the microwave and the heroes effortlessly win? Really?
Oh, who cares? I've been blown up, dropped down smokestacks, fed to sharks. I'm the Joker. I always survive.
But uh-oh, Ethan has no idea how to get out of the book, and the Joker pops up alive again, somehow, where he tries to kill everyone. But don't worry, because Hooper saves the day by using her eraser to erase the Joker, killing him for good, and opening up the portal back into reality, saving everyone. What? A girl saved the day? Yes, this 90s kids show had the nerd girl save the day. Woo, hashtag feminism.
Wait, she erased the Joker and that saved the day? How does that work? And after all this buildup of Ethan being a true hero, it's Hooper who saves us? Why?
Tell them, Aquaman. Yep, pretty much an underdog victory tale. So yeah, the Joker is dead, the heroes escape back into our world, Ethan and Hooper are friends for life, all the Joker's barely living victims are cured off screen, everything's normal, and Jack comes in to explain their heroism and congratulate them on a job well done. She also introduces the kids to her father, the missing comic artist Sylvester Uncas, who was freed from the comic prison too, and he congratulates Ethan for being a true hero by saving him and the world. And, no joke, he makes Ethan a legendary comic book artist, handing over his own job and all copyright ownership of the Joker to our kid hero. We then get a time skip cutting to a week later, where Owen Wilson and Rhoda are alive again, and are Ethan's agents, telling the press that they always had faith in their artistic little boy. And we conclude this story seeing that Ethan has finally achieved his dreams of being a famous comic artist and is now successful in his hometown, earning him his well-deserved happy ending.
As for Ethan, well, you might say he finally made it into the comics.
And that was the end to the fan-favorite Are You Afraid of the Dark story, The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner. We also get a short segment where the Midnight Society all say that they love comic books now since they're super cool. Yeah, fortunately they got into them before the embarrassing New 52 era, but good to see some appreciation for comic books again. So, how does this fan-favorite tale hold up? Well, I think it's okay. The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner is simply an adventure story about two shy kids gaining self-confidence while also combating a comic supervillain based off of the Joker in the real world. It's very basic deep down, but overall, it was an entertaining tale that many people could get into. The negatives are mostly the slow as molasses build-up towards the villain physically appearing in the episode, and the small plot holes regarding how to stop the Joker. However, the positives do include a pretty fun villain, some decent character arcs, a very intriguing comic book gimmick, and a well-crafted follow your dreams message. Something I've come to notice while binging on Are You Afraid of the Dark tales is that this show loves the Jaws effect. Like, they really enjoy indulging themselves in build-up. As I said before, the show takes an awesome villain and spends a ton of time building up towards the scary villains, rather than showing them off immediately. This tactic has given the show some great horror moments, but has also backfired horribly on them if the monster was not worth the wait. The show dedicates enough screen time to get used to our real main characters and provide them with simple character arcs in order for us to care about them. This episode does a rather good job at it too, since I did grow to like Hooper and Ethan and related to some of their problems. However, I did feel that it dragged on a few times, and felt that these kids made some pointless detours, or had some idiot moments just to make the plot more intense and longer. For example, I did find it kind of unsettling how the kids abandoned people to die by the Joker and just ran away a lot. But to be fair, they do try to search for ways to overcome their obstacles, rather than just cry like some other idiot characters. So it was a pretty even balance of both good and bad qualities. A ton of people love the Ghastly Grinner, thanks to him being a pretty obvious clone of the Joker. I, however, had some problems for that very same reason. It is pretty hard to not see the Joker, since this guy is based upon one of America's most iconic bad guys, which did make me wonder why they didn't go all out with him and his Joker act. I think he's an okay villain, but I wouldn't exactly say he's one of this show's greatest monsters ever, since he's pretty much a pre-existing bad guy that the show didn't really create themselves. If you love this baddie, then that's fine, but personally, I enjoyed villains like the Pool Monster, Nosferatu, and Jake the Snake more. Mostly because they were far scarier antagonists, and as I've said in the last Are You Afraid of the Dark video, I am not afraid of clowns. The thing that makes the real Joker terrifying is that he's not only a clown. He's also a serial killer, a terrorist, an abuser, a diabolical mastermind, and a villain who is so crazy that even Batman gets creeped out by him. The Ghastly Grinner doesn't seem to have much of a personality outside of being a generic Doomsday villain and a Joker clone. You know, for a story about the Ghastly Grinner, we don't exactly know a whole lot about him. The comic artist Sylvester Uncas created the Ghastly Grinner comic to show who this character was, and was going to kill him off in the exact same novel. But did you notice how we don't get a true origin for the villain? It's just him killing people. I guess they were saving that backstory for the Ghastly Grinner Zero. Nevertheless, the Grinner is an okay villain, but the fact that he's just the Joker in Are You Afraid of the Dark makes him both cooler and limits him as a character. New viewers, much like myself, probably won't get into the character as much as this show's hardcore fanbase due to his obvious similarities to the Joker. But as I said before, that could also be the reason why people love him. So the Grinner is okay, and that's really all I can say about this episode as a whole. The tale of the Ghastly Grinner is a decent tale of suspense that just wants to have fun, while also inspiring kids to never give up on their dreams. A good story, but not really one I can call my personal favorite. If you like it, that's fine. It is not a terrible episode at all, and it does have many elements that I did like, such as the brutal death, the nice artwork, the creativity, the fun villain, and some of the nightmare fuel. My only real issues are with some seriously slow pacing, some forgettable characters who meant nothing, and a few plot holes on why the kids couldn't get rid of the Joker with easier methods than running around for answers. Other than that, it was a passable tale that really does hold up fair enough. The Ghastly Grinner is a bit cheesy, but being a children's tale about the Joker coming to life, that's to be expected. Like I said, this was all an excuse to give a love letter to the Joker. It's just a creepy adventure that has a wacky psychopath with a basic follow your dreams and believe in yourself moral. It's simple, but not very complex. That's okay though, since the big focus is on whether or not you have fun watching it. Not my favorite tale, but I think it's alright. So, I give this episode a gold skull. Sadly not a perfect score, since I am a bit biased, but the Ghastly Grinner is still an enjoyable experience with many good things going for it. If you love Are You Afraid of the Dark, then this will be hugely recommended, since one of the best things about it is that this story still looks good by today's standards. If you like the Joker, then you may get into it as well, since the show does a good job creating their own unique version of him to haunt children's nightmares, like all the thousands of other incarnations. It knows how to have a blast and when to treat things seriously, so it does have a fair balance on the tone as well. What more can I say? The tale of the Ghastly Grinner isn't perfect, but it will definitely put a smile on your face. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your host,
Enough of this rubbish. Hey! We were watching, guys!
Catastrophe, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, happy day.
You bunch of no-good wet-tub losers, you leaks. It's from that itch I made the switch and chose my nom de plume. Joker. There's a fun in that. There's a fun in that. So smile, darn you smile. Everybody ought to laugh. And so with glee, I do decree, just smile, darn you smile. So when living gets a little rough and you find it hard to cope, I'm the gent with just the stuff to fill you full of hope. Just smile, darn you smile. Everybody needs a clown. Now with one stroke, the final joke. Just smile, darn you smile, darn you smile. Everybody loves to grin. Follow my lead, recite my creed, and smile.